drawing, you have to set your unit. So how you set your unit? You have the command UN, that is for units. Okay. So here you will find out all the units for length, for angle, for insertion scale, for lighting units, and for the direction as well, direction control. Here you will find out. Okay. So here you see that the length type, that is decimal. Okay. So what will be the display format? So that is your setting, that is decimal or architectural or engineering. So if you go for decimal, so it will be applicable for your meter, decimeter, centimeter, this kind of units. And if you go for architectural, so this is like your fractional inches, fractional feet and inches. And if you go for engineering, so that means you are defining with uh, uh, that feet and inches, the feet and inches same unit, but here it will not be as fraction. Here it will be like decimal, with the decimal. After point you will get the values. Okay. And the fractional is like the same like decimal. This is also for meter, centimeter, and decimeter, but you will see the fractional like if there is any value like 1.5. So in the decimal section it will show you 1.5, but for the fractional it will show you 1.5. Okay. So this is the difference. And if you go for scientific, so there you will find out the value showing you with uh, exponential values. Okay. So that is your scientific. And about the insertion scale. So this one you are setting for the time when you will be inserting this drawing into any other drawing, or you will be inserting this as a block or into some other drawing, or the block what is saved within this drawing, it will be inserted within any other drawing. So for inserting into any other drawing, what will be the unit? So as per that unit, it will be scaled when you will be inserting into any other drawing. So that is the unit you are setting. So don't get confused that this is the unit you are setting for your drawing. This is not the drawing unit. Okay, this is not the drawing unit actually you are setting. Here, this is the display unit, the length type. What is the display unit? And as per that, how much precise value are you are allowed to get, that you are setting. Okay, and similarly you have for angle as well. So angle type you can see. So as per that you will be having it. Okay, and about the lighting. So when we'll be creating any 3D model, so as per that we'll be having our units for the light. So we are not creating any American project, so it will be international. So for all other countries, it will be international. And about the direction, if you need to change your base angle, so you can change it. If you want to define your own angle like 47.5 or 21.33, like that. So here you will be choosing other and mentioning that angle. So let's go with the default value, that is okay. And you click on OK. And after this, you type dash DWG unit. This one may be new for all of you. So dash DWG unit is the command where you will be setting. Okay, so here you can see that this drawing units here it will be showing you one. So for inches you have to press 1. For centimeter you have to press 4. If you want to get that window, the text window, that is called text window. So you have to press F2 if you want to get that text window. So you have to press F2. So for millimeters, you can press 3. So here you can see that is right now at millimeter. So right now we'll not be changing it, or if I want to change it, so what I'll do, I'll go for 1. Okay, I'll go for 1. That will be inches. And about the linear display format, so here you can see, press F2. So the linear display format is right now architectural. So for inches, it will be better I go with engineering, right? So go for 3, enter. And about the precision, display precision, so I'll go with 2 digits after point, 2 digit, that is fine. And it's asking you about scale objects from other drawings upon insert. So in this current drawing, if you insert any other drawing externally, that will be scaled. So yes, obviously, if you are inserting with different unit, it should be scaled. Yes. And it's asking you that do you want to match insertion unit to drawing units. So we have set our drawing units as inches, but you remember that previously I had set uh, the insertion unit to millimeter. So if I want to have uh, those separately, like inches in unit millimeter and my drawing unit inches. So I'll go for no, I don't want to match it. So I will go for no. And it's asking you scale objects in current drawing to reflect change in units. So if I have drawn something in millimeter, initially, if I have drawn something in millimeter and later I'm changing my unit, so then it will be scaled. It will be scaled to match my current drawing unit. So obviously go for yes, and include objects in paper space. So about the paper space, I have already mentioned that this layout tab has the paper space, and the paper space is the finite area as per the length and width of the page. So yes, I need to include in paper space, go for yes. Okay, now go for unit. Now you check there that in the insertion unit it is set as millimeter, and here it is changed. The length type here it is changed, the precision is changed, right? And again, so here it will ask you that if you are going with this engineering, so it's better that you go with the insertion scale similarly with this length type, because what will happen, uh, it will mismatch, like when you will be inserting into other drawings, so there it will be inserted into millimeter, so it will scale to that millimeter. So generally we don't do that. We If we create in inches, so we generally insert in inches, right? So that's why we should match this to inches. So right now you see that I'm having millimeters. So don't worry about that. We can change from that dash DWG unit also, and we can change from that unit section also. So here you see that it's showing you 1. So whenever you type any command and there some values are needed, and if you get this bracket and there you see the value, so that means this is the previous input value. Okay, it is showing you the previous input value. If you just simply press enter, so it will take that previous input value. Okay, so for millimeters I have to press 3 and go for enter. And about like here, if you go for decimal, so you can press 2. So scientific is 1, 2 for decimal, and your 3 for engineering, right? Okay. So you can type to decimal and the linear precision, that is 2. So I'll simply press enter, and scale objects from other drawing upon insert, that is yes, match. Right now I'll be matching my insertion unit to drawing units. Okay, so let's go to yes, and scale objects in current drawing to reflect change in units. So in this current drawing, if you have drawn anything, it will be scaled to reflect the change in units. So as per the current drawing, current unit, it will be scaled. So let's go for yes and include object in paper space. Yes. Okay, now you can check in unit. So here it is changed to decimal and here it is, I'm having millimeters. Okay, so this is how you should set your unit first. Okay, and after that you will be starting your drawing. All right. Now, let me tell you that how you navigate before starting any drawing, how you navigate your screen. Suppose you cannot see this UCS icon here within this viewport. You cannot see this right here. AutoCAD is like it will show you the X and Y direction, but the origin, the origin is if it is out of your screen, uh, because this model space is infinite, so it can be placed anywhere. So if you are not finding out your origin, so for that what you can do is how you navigate your screen. So for that you can simply go with the zoom, Z enter for zoom. So Z enter, and then what you can do is you have so many option: all, center, dynamic, extend, previous, scale, window, and object. So if you go for all, so all the objects uh, will be zoomed within this area. So that means it will like eh, it will bring the origin within this viewport. Wherever it is, it will bring the origin within this screen. So make sure if you are not having, if you can't see your uh, drawing, even if you have drawn your diagram and you can't see within this viewport, you can go for that Z enter and A enter. So this function can be activated by your mouse. So if you press your scroll button twice, that can be like Z enter and A enter, right? So here you can see I have pressed my scroll button twice. That is my Z enter, that is similar to Z enter and A enter. Let me show you again Z enter. So for that, let me just have one object here and another object there and another object there. Okay, so if I go for Z enter and A enter, that is for all. So now you can see that I'm having all this object within my screen, within my viewport, right? Now you see that we have this center option. So you will be defining any point, you will be defining any point that will be the center point for your screen. Okay, and how much it will be zoomed, the magnification height. So you can go manually. So from point to point, this distance will be the magnification height. Okay, that much will be within this viewport. Okay, like that you can zoom. So that point you had defined, that covered within this viewport. Okay, now let me go with this Z enter again and dynamic. So this is not any particular. Okay, you can go with any particular value like this. You can go with any particular value. and you can press enter and that much area will be zoomed. Okay, again you can go for dynamic and here you mention this point and from this point to like how much area you define and then you can press enter and that much area will be zoomed. So this is not fixed. This is can be used dynamically as per the user, as per the requirement. So every time it will be changed. And you have this extend option. So this can be similar to your zoom all, but the main thing is about the zoom extent, like the extended portion of all the object will be within this viewport, will be zoomed within this viewport. So that's the main thing. Mostly you will get the similar result like Z enter and A enter. Now you can come back to previous position. Again, you can come back to previous position, previous zoom position, and you can go with this any scale factor, like any particular scale factor 1.5 times will be zoomed. And that is as because that is positive value. So that is why it is zoomed in. If you go with the negative value, so that will be zoomed out. Okay. Mm, okay, so we can go, don't put negative here, it will not take the negative. So for that, what you have to do is like you have to put 1 by 1.5. That value you have to put here. Okay. So what will be the value 1 by 1.5? Just calculate it 1 by 1.5 and that is like 0.666666. Okay, and enter. So it's like that. Uh, with the scale factor, and here you have this window option, so you can define this window and this particular area will be zoomed. And here you can go for this object and this object will be zoomed within your viewport, and there you can see. So that's how you go with that. So that is your zoom option. And you can pan. So holding your scroll button or mouse middle button, holding your scroll button or mouse middle button, you drag your mouse. Okay, without any changing the zoom position, you can look around your objects without changing the zoom position. Okay, that is your pan. And you have more options if you go for right click. So there you also have this zoom. Okay, so if you go for this, like, so this one is very precisely you can zoom. So with the left, uh, now let me show you again. If you right click anywhere within this screen, there also you will get this zoom option. And if you left click on this zoom option, so now you can zoom with your left key, holding your left key, left mouse button. So right now I'm holding my left mouse button and then I'm pushing forward my mouse. Okay. And now I'm dragging backward and now I'm dragging forward. Okay. So this way you can precisely zoom in and zoom out. Zoom in. If you push forward your mouse, that is zoom in, and backward, that is zoom out. And right click, there you can also have this pan option, and you have this steering wheels. So this wheel has everything to steer your viewport. So like here you can go for this zoom option. So you click and hold. You cannot left your click. You cannot leave your click. You just have to click and hold, and then you just go forward and go backward for zoom in and zoom out. Okay. And whenever you release your click, you will have that steering wheel back again, and you can have pan. All right, you can go for rewind. So rewind is like you can have all the previous position. You can see that you can go really at the initial position. Okay. Now we have another option that is called orbit. So orbit is like in the 360 in 3 dimension. You can rotate. You can rotate around. Okay, so that is your orbit. Means based on your center of gravity, you are rotating. Okay, so that is your orbit. So how I'm doing it? I'm clicking on this orbit and holding my left click. I'm rotating my mouse. This orbit option can be done with your keyboard and mouse. So holding your shift key and your mouse middle button, you can orbit this. I'm holding the shift key and the mouse middle button. I'm rotating around. So when I'm rotating around, you can see that the UCS icon is in 3D, right? Whenever you will be releasing, you can see 2D lines for your UCS. So whenever you are orbiting, that means you are visualizing your 3 dimension. So that's why it's uh, highlighting this UCS icon with its own color. Okay, so this is how you will be navigating. Now let's talk about how you draw. So for drawing, you have your drawing objects in AutoCAD. Okay, so let's go for it. So you are already introduced with this line command. About this line command, I've already mentioned. Let me quickly cover it again. So with this line command or line tool, you just create line segments. You create line segments, and every line segments is individual. Okay, so like you create this line segment, and from the last end of this line segment, it continues. But that line segment is again individual and again individual. So it creates multiple individual segment. It create multiple objects. Okay, with the segment, we are having multiple objects. Now we have polyline. We have polyline. So with this polyline, if your segments are connected, then you can have a single object. And with this polyline, not only you can create line, you can create arc, and you can provide width to your lines and to your arc as well. Okay, so this is similar for creating polyline. The same way you have created line, the same way you will be creating your polyline. So the first point, and then the second point, and then the next point. And then if you want to create arc from this end, so here you have this option arc. You can click on it, or you can simply press A, enter. So right now you are having this arc. So for creating arc, we have some option. So you will be cleared when I will be talking about this arc. So you'll have the idea about all of these options. Okay. So right now, just let me have this, and like this, it will continue creating your arc. And if you want to get back your line, so you can just simply click on this line or L enter, and you will get back your line. Okay. So like this, you will be having a single object. So this is with the continuous segment, you're having a single object. Okay. Suppose you realize that you need multiple segments, like this arc as a separate object. You need this arc as a separate object. So if you want to convert this single entity into a multiple entity, so that you can do with a explode command. So the command is x enter, and you select this object, and when your selection is done, you press enter. And right now I'm having it as a separate object. All the segments are right now as individual object. Okay. And here you have this multiple segment, which is all these multiple segments are connected right now. You can see this is connected with this segment is connected with this segment. So when you have connected segments and you want to convert this multiple entity into single entity, so for that we have join option. You can simply type J enter, and then you select all these objects together. So now you see that I'm selecting with this green window. So I'm coming about this selection. So right now I've selected all of this three line, and then I'm pressing enter. Right now I'm having this as a single entity. Okay. This is about your polyline and how you explode, how you convert your lines into polyline. So this is right now as a polyline when you join them. All your single entity is considered as polyline in AutoCAD. Let's go for polyline right now, and just uh, specify your start point. And after that, what you can do is you can mention width or half width. So it is the output will be similar, but for half width you will be just providing the half value of your width, and here you will be mentioning the whole value of your width. Okay, that is the difference only, but the result will be similar. So let's go with this half width right now. So here I'll be mentioning like let's go with this 50. So that is my starting half width, and my ending half width will be 0. So let's go for that. Ending half width will be okay. Let's go with the 50. So let's go with the 50. So here you say this is the line. So wherever I end this segment, it will have 50 width at the starting and 50 width at the end. So let me have a straight line with this ortho mode on. And now I'll go for this width. I'll go for this width, and here you can see that starting with is showing you 100. So it's calculating the previous my previous value, uh, doubling my previous value. So here let me go with the starting with let's me go with 200, and about the ending with I will go with 0. Okay, now I'm having an arrow. Okay, so this is right now a single element. This is a single element. So with this polyline, just simply I have drawn a start point, and then so this is the segment. This is the first point and this is the end point. And for the arrowhead, what I'll do, I'll go for width or half width, any of this. So let's go with this half width, and then you mentioned the start width, let's go for 50 and the end width 0, enter. And then you mention the length of your segment. So let's specify 200 and enter. And here you have an arrow. So this is one single element. OK, so this is about your polyline. And now let's talk about this selection. So this is called blue window selection, and this one is called green window selection. So how I am forming this these two windows, how I'm creating these two windows. So to have blue window, how you can create. So wherever you click within this viewport, wherever you click, if you drag wherever you have click from that point, if you drag towards its right side, then you will be having a blue window. OK, and from that point, if you drag towards left side of that point, you will be having a green window. OK, so how does these two window selection work? So for this blue window selection, your objects need to be covered within this window. Then only it will be selected. So right now you see that these objects were covered within my blue window, right? And as because this object wasn't covered within my blue window, so that's why it is not selected. Suppose without zooming in, you want to select these, you just want to select this small curve. So how you can do that? You just simply click on it, click, and don't hold the click. Don't hold the click. OK, right now these two are covered, right? These two are covered, but it is like these two objects are parallel, so it is like if I create the window like this way, then only this one will be covered and then this one is selected. So if you are sorting your selection, then you can go for this blue window selection. Now let me talk about the green window selection. So the green window selection select by just crossing over the object. So how you create your green window selection? So wherever you click, uh, if you drag towards left side from that point, you will be forming green window. So here I'm clicking and I'm dragging towards left side. So just see that I'm just crossing. I'm just crossing, right? I'm just crossing and these two objects are selected. OK, so this way you can just simply select. You can just simply select, right? So these are the two window selection option. You'll be selecting this way. All right. Now we have a circle within our draw panel. We have circle. To create circle in AutoCAD, we have 6 different ways. We have 6 different ways to create circle. So mainly we have three category of creating circle in AutoCAD. So these two comes under first category. These two comes under second category. These two comes under third category. So here you can see this first category is center based. Second category is point based and third category is tangent based. Okay, so the center is the first creation. Okay, so if you go for center, so for the first you will be defining the any point you will be defining, that will be the center point of your circle, and the next value will be the radius value. So whatever you put, that will be the radius value of that circle. So how you can check it? So you can select that circle or any object. If you want to get all the information of that object, so just select and press Control 1. So Control 1 is the properties palette. Okay, and here you can see you will get all the information of this object. Suppose this object is not selected, but you have opened up this properties palette, and if you simply click on this, you will get this circle information. Or here also you have this select object option available. Here you can click on this and you can go for selection within your viewport. You select it and press enter, and there you have. And from this properties palette also you can change the values. Suppose you want to change the radius, you can type here, like if you go for 45, enter, and there you can see the change, right? So from the properties palette you can change the properties of any object. Okay, after creating, don't delete and recreate. Don't do that, it will be just wasting your time. You can just open up the properties palette and there you can change it. Okay, so like the similar way you can go for center diameter. You just specify the center, and the next value what will be the value, that will be the diameter of this circle. Okay, so let's go with the diameter, that is 80, and there you can see. Okay, so next is 2 point. So this is the first of this second category. So the second category is point based. So here you will be mentioning 2 points. So what are the 2 points? The 2 points are the diameter endpoint of your circle. All right. So you'll be mentioning the two endpoint. So first endpoint and the second endpoint. So here you can see these two diameter endpoint you have mentioned and you have created. Okay, so you can put coordinate values. You can put coordinate values with this 2 point method. So let's place it like the first diameter endpoint will be at 0, 0, enter, and the diameter endpoint second diameter endpoint will be at 0, 100. 0, 100. Okay. Now can you answer a question that what is the diameter of this circle now? Can you answer? Anybody? Be quick, guys.
Sir, sir, it will be 50.
No, it will be 100. Why? Because I have mentioned two diameter endpoints. So the first diameter endpoint is 0, 0, and the second diameter endpoint at placed 0, 100. So what is the distance between those 2 points is 100,
100. Yeah.
right? So that is the diameter value. Thank you, Pranab. Thank you for trying. Uh, so this how you will be creating 2 point, and you have 3 point as well. So you just have to define 3 points. So that is very simple. If you have any 3 points, so you just mention those 3 point, and based on that, you will be having your circle. All right. So this is very simple to create any circle based on this 3 point. Just you have to define those 3 point. Now let's go for this tan radius and tan. So let's go for that tangent radius, tan. So go for this tangent, and you can mention the radius. So let's go for any value like 70. So this is the uh, This is the circle which is created, maintaining the tangent with these two object, this object and this object. You can ask me, sir, it I can see that this is maintaining the tangent with this horizontal line, but it's not maintaining the tangent with this line. It's maintaining the tangent. If you increase, if you stretch this line, you can see that this will be tangent with this. And your next question may be like, why isn't it between this area? Because this is so big, the radius is so big, it cannot be placed within this area. So the placement depends on the radius value. And about the tan. So about the tan, just you have to mention three tangent objects. So first tangent, second tangent, and your third tangent. So as per your three tangent object, the circle will be created. So you cannot define the radius. It will be based on the three objects placement. Okay, so it will just the tan option is not about the radius value. It's more about maintaining the tangent, being tangent with these three objects. All right. So these are the six methods of creating your circle. So Unmesh has asked me to demonstrate the arrow. So let me go with this polyline. So let's go for this first point. And after this first point, you will be creating your segment. So you can go with this ortho mode, that is F8 or this icon. So you create your first segment, and for the arrowhead segment, you go with either width or half width. So you see that you have uh, uh, this is like center, and towards the top you have some width, towards bottom you have some width. So you can go with the half width, so you will be mentioning the half width and it will calculate the total width. And here you can mention the total width. So you can choose your way. Let me go with this width, and here you can type the value, or else you can go with this point to point with this mouse point. With your mouse you can mention the value. So this one was the value, from this point to this point was the value, and you can go for ending. So for your arrowhead, it will be always 0, the end with always 0, and there you have. And you can mention the segment length for your arrowhead. So from this point to this point is the uh, length of your arrowhead segment. So let's go for 50 and enter, and there you have. And you press escape to exit from any command. You just press escape. Okay, and if you want to activate the previous command, so you can just simply press the space bar or the enter. So if you press the space bar or the enter, it will activate the previous command. All right. Okay. So you understand. Now let me quickly demonstrate any diagram with the uh, line and circle. Okay, so just a minute, guys, and I will share you that diagram. I will share you. Mm, just a second. Okay, so let me share this in the WhatsApp group. I hope you all can see. I have shared in the WhatsApp. I hope you all can see it.
Yes, sir.
Just start it. Okay, so what I'll do, I will create the half. Okay, to save my time. Okay, to save my effort, I will just create the half, and other half I can mirror it. Right. So let's go for it. And let me create a vertical line. So whenever you are creating any single diagram like this, always create the center line. Always try to create the center line. That will be very much easy. And I'll show you another tool which will make your drawing very easy. So let's go for it. You can start the point at 0, 0, and the next you can mention at 70. So here we don't have any particular unit, so we can go with any unit. So let's go for 70, and that is our millimeter, I guess. So you can check it. Yeah. So we have 70 millimeter. I'm using millimeter. You can use inches or centimeter. So I think this one will be at centimeter, because this is the baluster. Uh, so 700 millimeter will be the right height for the baluster. So I can guess this is at centimeter. Okay. So I have drawn this one, and about this one. So here I can draw it. So the whole length for the horizontal line, that is 17. So I'll be calculating the half, that is 8.5. So I'll be creating the half line, that is 8.5. Okay. Now what I'll do, I will create parallel lines. I will create parallel lines at some certain distance. So for that, what I can do, I can go with this copy option. I can go with this copy, select it, and then right click for enter, or you can press enter. Then specify the base point, and then you can then specify the distance. Okay. So next distance is 7. Enter. And from about this copy, it will always calculate from the base point. So about the next, you have to add. So the next distance will be like 7 plus 2.5, so 9.5. So like this way you have to add. But this can be like difficult. I have to add all the times, all the values I have to add. So I'll not go with this copy. So for that, I have this offset. I have this offset. So what is about this offset? When I will be using this offset? So if you need to create parallel lines, parallel curves, or concentric closed objects. So what are your closed objects? Circle is your closed object. Any polygon, any rectangle, ellipse, these are your closed objects. And you want to create concentric. Concentric means the same center. So if you want to create objects like that, parallel curves, parallel lines at any certain distance, so then you will be choosing this offset. So this is the icon. You can just simply click on it, or the command is O enter. All right. So O enter, and then you put the value. So now for the flexibility in this offset command, what I'll do, I will on this dynamic input. Okay, I'll on this dynamic input. So what is the shortcut for dynamic input? That is F12. So I'll click on it. This is the icon. I'll click on it, and now you can see that I'm having a extra window with my crosshair. So I cannot just simply I'll not just simply specify the input within this command. It will be also visible with my crosshair, so I don't have to change my vision from the drawing. So it will give you more flexibility. So let's go for it. Let's specify the distance. So if you uh, if you place your mouse pointer on this command line, so here you can type. So if you change your mouse pointer position anywhere between anywhere near to your like uh, near to your drawing, so you can just simply try type it. Okay, so let's go for it 2.5. So you see I don't have to change my mouse pointer, the position I don't have to change it. So if I hadn't on this dynamic input, so I have to always come to this command line window and then click on it and then again type. So this simple uh, fraction of second can waste a minute of my time. So I'm saving that time. And not only that, here also I'll show you. So here you can see that when I'm doing it, so after selecting it, you just have to mention the side. So towards this side, all right, towards this side, and then click. And again, you will be offsetting this parallel line. So next for the next time you have 1.5. But you see that for the offset, I have mentioned already one value. So those who are aware of AutoCAD, they used to do like when they need any other value, they used to escape from this command and they uh, put the put the value again and then again and then again. So without escaping this command within this, so here it's showing you 2.5. So as because I have this dynamic input on, I have this flexibility to change this. So I'll go with this 1.5 and enter, and there you can see. And for this next, I need 5.5. So I'll go with 5.5, enter. All right. And again, I will select this one and to the bottom side, I'll place my mouse pointer and then I will type the value 2 and enter. And if I don't need any different value, so I can just place my mouse pointer and I can press enter. Okay, so I need 1.5 and enter and select this one. This will go for 28, enter, right? And then go for 0.5, enter, then go for 2, enter, 0.5, enter, then go for 8, enter, select this, place towards the bottom, and then go for the value 1, enter, select this, then go for 3, enter, and the remaining is 7. So you can type 7, enter, and here we have. Okay, and again go for offset. Oh, sorry. With that, within that command, I could do that. So like this. So O enter offset, and you type the value. So that will be 8.5. Enter and select this and this. So this one I have, and from this I'll be placing another that will be my 1.5, enter. Okay, and the next one is 2, so I'll go for 2, enter, and then next one is 1, I'll go for 1, enter. All right, so right now I don't need my offset command anymore. uh, Now here I need lots of work. So what I have to do, I have to trim this part. So for that, I have this trim and extend option. So right now I need trim option. So I'm using AutoCAD 2021 version. So 2021 version has an advanced trim option. So here you don't have to like, if you are using older version, so if you are going with this icon, so after clicking on this icon, you had to press one enter. But in this 2021 version and 2022 version, you don't have to press that enter. You just click on this icon and you can start trimming. Okay. And if you are going with the command, so there you just have to press one single enter like other commands. So TR enter and you can start trimming it. All right. Like this. You can go for it. Okay. I hope you got this. Right. So now what I need is a curve here. I need a curve here, right? So you can see that from this end to this end is showing you 2. So this is the radius. This is the radius, right? So like this is one diameter endpoint and this is one diameter endpoint. So like if you complete it, you can see that will be the value of radius, that is 2. So you can either go for this tangent radius. So this one is tangent and this one is tangent. The value is 2 and you can sorry, tangent. So first tangent object, then second tangent object, then the value is radius value is 2 and enter. And there you can see it and you can trim it. Okay, you can go for trim this part and this part will be trimmed and this will be trimmed. Okay, so if you don't need to do this much of operation like circle and then trim, you can directly have this curve with the trim. So for that we have this fillet. So the fillet is to provide a curve in between this corner of these two lines. So I have a sharp corner here and I need to provide a curve. So for that I can go with this fillet and here I can provide this radius. So the command is F, enter. The radius value is 2, enter. And you can simply select this line and you can simply select this line. And here you can see it is trimming. So here you have this trim option. If it is set to no trim, make sure this is set to trim, then only you will have this. Okay. Now about this part, I need to trim
Sir,
it.
can we do this carve using arc?
Yeah, we can do that also. We can do that also. So for that we have this start and radius option is there. So I need to find out this start and there is I need to find out the uh, radius. So this could be tricky. So that's why I'm not choosing this arc option.
Okay.
And here I have, I'll be trimming this one and this one. So this part is completed, right? And about this one, okay, I will delete that and here I'll be deleting it. Okay, so you can delete this parts. So no, I'm not deleting it. I'm trimming it actually. Okay, and about this one, so here it's showing you that you have radius 1. So you can go with the, so here I'll be going with 2 point, right? So the first point and then the second point. Okay, and then you can trim it. All right. So you see that I didn't have to find out that radius. So it would waste my time to find out this radius, sorry, center. Right. So I had the 2 points. I had those 2 points. So I just have to find out how much I have and I have to utilize how much I have. Right. So now about the bottom part. About the bottom part I have to do. So that line I have to delete. Okay, so it's asking me for 7.5, so I can go with the offset or enter offset, and I will go with the half of 7.5, so that is 3.75. Enter, and let me select it. Okay, so that is the line, and I don't need this line. I'll delete it, and here it will be like this 2 point. Go for trim. Okay. All right, so this part is completed. And for this part, so now you see that I am selecting this line, and this line has 3 grip points. Okay, so these two are the endpoints and this is the midpoint. So these are the grip points. So with this grip points, you can grip this object, and this center point or the midpoint, you can change the position, you can drag it, and from this endpoint you can stretch. Stretch means you can increase the length and or decrease the length in any direction. If you go for stretch, so you can increase and decrease in any direction. But if you go for lengthen, I haven't clicked anything. I have just placed my mouse pointer on this grip point. So it's showing you stretch and lengthen. So if you go for, sorry, if you go for lengthen, so that means towards this linear direction of this line, you can increase or decrease the length of this line only in the linear direction of this line. So I'll go for lengthen, and here I will place it. Okay, so I have shortened this line. So this way also I can shorten or increase the length of my line. Okay, so this is I have demonstrated. About this part you have to complete. All right, the remaining part you will be completing. So that is the task. So that is for all. That is for today. Thank you guys. And make sure you complete the task.